Hey everybody, we're back again. This time we're here to talk about decisions. I'm back in this room. We'll have to see if this building is going to end up working out, but I have a feeling maybe not so much. We'll have to see. Not too long from now, I'm going to be traveling back home, so we'll see how that's going to go. While I'm out here, I'm trying to figure out how my dad is through all of this. And so that's kind of a decision where, at the one hand, he's 80. On the other, he is an adult and he knows what he needs to do. He can't let the dogs go 2 or 3 days without getting food. He can't let the trash go out once every 3 weeks. You know, there's lots of different things that go into that. But because he's very smart, I should probably get out from under this camera a little bit more. Because he's very smart, that makes things a little bit easier and a little bit harder. It makes it a little bit easier because if I tell him, okay, if you die today, nobody knows where any of your information is. You knew where mom's information was. And by the way, if you don't at your house have a death notebook, you should get one. Not a death note, but a death notebook. And if you'd like, in the doobly-doo below, I will put a link that you can go to and have a look at. And what is a death notebook? Well, if my wife and I were to die, someone has to know where our insurance is, what are our recurring payments, how should they be cut off, where does all of our money go, like all of these different things that you may or may not have ever thought about before. But I'll put a link in the doobly-doo below. But basically, on the occasion of your death, somebody, anybody, should be able to step in and say, okay, here's the living will, here's the do not resuscitate, here's the actual will, here's the insurance statement that goes with the life insurance, here's how they want their monies distributed, and lots of different things like that you may not ever think about wanting to consider until you're older. But what happens if you die before then? It's hard to consider. All right, so today we're talking about how do we handle decisions, and then what's really important to us. And then on top of that, talking about gut feelings, and where do gut feelings leave us? So first things first is talking about decisions. For me personally, I like to think about them for a while, but more often than not, the first thought that I have, the first decision that I make is almost always wrong. Always wrong. This thing's a problem, you need to get rid of it. Okay, we can't actually get rid of that. Here's what we need to do. We need to find a way to make it safe. It's just that in many cases a gut reaction is simply a gut reaction. It is your body's quick and easy way of getting things put together. And it's not right. It's more often than not just kill it, push it away, get rid of it, yell at the interloper. Like all these different things which could be something important, that knee-jerk reaction is almost always wrong for me. Unfortunately, the longer I have to think about a decision, the more I realize I've already made the decision in my head, and I'm just trying to find a way to justify it. So for instance, if I out here, for instance, my father has a 2000 Town and Country, and that car has less than 100,000 miles on it. It's 20 years old. Starts every single time. It's a manual. It gets good gas mileage. But it smells like mouse, and it had about 3,000 mouse droppings inside of it, and I'm probably getting the Hansa virus when I turn on the heater. Having a car that drives is worth an amount of money. My wife does not want it on our property, but I've already decided that I do actually want to have that car, and now I just have to come up with the justification for why I have to drive a car from Washington all the way to North Carolina, 3,000 miles. Breakdown along the way. It's tough. So a lot of times handling decisions is a question. And if you ever do a Myers-Briggs test, you can find lots of different things about yourself that are true. For instance, I am an INTJ. And this is someone who is very intuitive, and someone who does a lot of thinking and has a high importance on making a judgment call between two things. So many people, when they hear that, ask, why would you want to be judgmental? And it might be a question of, well, do you want to fish or do you want to cut bait? Do you need to do this item first or that item first? This person has committed a crime. Do they deserve exactly what the law book says? Do they need to get a lesser sentence, a greater sentence, even though they were guilty? Is there some circumstance where they might get off with a slap on the wrist? Like, what are the factors here? Nothing is really black and white, which is why I'm bad at math, because math is either right or wrong, right? But there's always this judging quality. Is it exactly what they say? Is it more? Is it less? How do we see those things? And that is pretty important to me. So handling decisions, it often seems like if I use a gut check decision, I'm wrong every single time. If I listen to what someone says and then I think about it, I can tell them, my first impression is that they're smart and they know what they're doing. They're going to want to do this, but actually what they need to do is something else entirely. And here's why, and I can lay those items out. So a lot of thinking and listening and making those determinations are much more helpful than trying to have a gut check decision that is going to come at us the wrong way. Sometimes I like to think over and argue and cogitate in my head while I'm driving. That's really helpful. But usually it is just me justifying that decision. All right, and then the second part of this is what's really important to us? Like, why are we making these decisions? Why does it matter so much? We're talking about what's important to us. And what is important to me is usually my family, time with my friends, the quality of life that I lead, and then, in all honesty, is there something I can do to make it easier where I can be lazy? Sounds bad, but we're trying to be honest here. The idea of, and I apologize, I got to looking at myself in the mirror there. The ideal behind trying to do things or lazy is, it's kind of a two-sided coin. to be able to do things the fastest and most efficient way possible is the same as doing it the lazy way. If I don't have to do 15 minutes of dishes 5 days a week and I can do 1 hour of dishes 1 day a week, that's a 15-minute win. That's me being efficient and lazy. So time-saving properties, things I'm going to be happy about. Am I making money so that I can have a better life with my family, so that I can put a little bit of money away? These are the things that really do it for me, and that's what I'll be looking for. So I want you to think about, what is it that makes you happy? Is it related to how you make your decisions, or is there no relation to that? Think about it. Give me an idea in the quotes below. What are some things that are important to you? How do you make your decisions? Let me know what's on your mind. I want to tell you that I really appreciate all the feedback and support that I've gotten. People have reached out to me individually to find out, hey, how can we get this going again? We don't want you to fail. We want you to succeed. And it really meant a lot to me, especially when I'm dealing with this situation with my family. Somebody asked me how my surgery went. It went very, very well. I've got 16 stitches down my back, and it looks like I've been stabbed in the back. And that's fine. It's also kind of like my porch scar over here. Maybe it looks like it popped through the front, or I got shot and there's a very big exit wound in the back. But we're going through with what remains, and it's all smooth and easy. If we keep a positive outlook, when they opened me up and found some surprises in there, it wasn't really worth being sad about. It was more about being glad that it was found, stepping forward positively, keeping a good attitude, and just being thankful that there was some time to take some action. By the way, all of my samples came back negative, so they got everything so far, and I just got to kind of keep a lookout for serious problems in the future. I want to thank you very much for coming here. I want to thank you for following me on this journey. You can give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Let me know how things are going. I don't like the new microphone. I don't like the new room. I don't like the new camera. Stop telling me about your health. I really don't care. I'll take all that stuff. But I do want to tell you thank you very much. Down in the doobly-doo below, I'll give some links. And please, if you're interested in doing your own 30-day challenge, I will put a link down there for you to have a look at that as well. So, thank you very much. You take it easy, and I want you all to have a great week. Bye-bye.